All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Yahweh, Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Bahashem, Chakarash, the apostle is a great millstone, which is standing through the spitting power, Yahweh Yahushai. Salaki, if the sound was on, I want to give all praise and honor unto Yahweh Yahushai for this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right, double honors to the apostles and elders, which are the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and to you hopeful elect out there on the four corners of the planet, especially this true faith. Let's jump into this video. This is somewhat of a news because you're not getting a lot of footage coming out of the war. Okay, the retaliation strikes that are going on are rocking. All right, they're pushing a lot of new arsenals and new weapons that are being shown. You had the cluster munition. I think it was like the Khalifa or something on those lines, where it deployed 80 warheads. Okay, that's not even the one. They're saying that they got more. Okay, because we know that the backers of Iran are superpowers. Okay, and they have development themselves. I was watching a video earlier concerning that Iran was able to decipher certain codes and certain channels that they were using, so they're not stupid people. Okay, which I didn't know much about that capabilities of their army, but the world is seeing it now. Okay, but the main point in this video I wanted to pull up is the comments. Okay, the comments are very people standing up and going against these small hats. Okay, these small toppers, and you see the end, and this is to fulfill scripture also, because the Bible told us that this would be happening, because all that Salakia had a phone call come in, but the main thing is that all this retaliation was not anticipated, but we know that the Lord is moving things along. Okay, we're waiting on the financial because they can use this. I've been saying it, that they can use this as a catalyst to bring in this new financial set, this reset. However it may play out, but they're gonna do a lot of moves because now there's a lot of attention on these small toppers. Okay, and we'll say it just like that. There's a lot of tension with the dirt that's coming out. The Lord said He's gonna show the foreskin. Anything done in secret shall come to the light. All this stuff is coming out, and now they have to deflect the tension by pretty much going to gusto. And I feel that if this thing doesn't slow down, their backs are gonna be pushed against the wall. But we know that this is all prophecy. This is all the things that we were anticipating. We didn't know how it looked like, but the Strait of Hormuz is pictured right in the mix of this. Okay, so we don't know what's going to come out of that. So we just got to pay attention. So this is last night. Iran literally made sure Tel Aviv is new Gaza. No air defense, no light, no sirens. Okay, so we'll play this, and then I'll read the comments. That's the main thing I wanted to pull up. There we go. Now, it says Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard warned that the latest missile strikes are only the beginning of a wider campaign. After launches of Khorramshahr 4 and the Kibrar missile targeted in Tel Aviv, Iran claimed it had demonstrated high precision capabilities while hinting at never seen before weapons in upcoming operations. The IRGC said Iran has used only a fraction of its military power and that the painful blows will continue in future waves. Iran also claimed it targeted a destroyer refueling from a tanker. So this thing is heating up, man. Okay? These things are heating up. But what I wanted to pull out It's the comments. And I'm gonna show you the comments because the Lord said that they would make this man despised, and there would be a lot of eyes. So there's a lot of attention coming out, especially with this Epstein files. A lot of these higher up corrupt, a lot of these people that are higher ups, they're showing themselves that they're dealing with the left-handed side, dark energy, things that are not, that are not righteous. But it says, I think 90% of the world loves Iran. See, it says, I'm Babylonian. I stand with Iran. Americans aren't happy about this war. So you see the comments. I mean, you can read it. Sweet sounds finding out free. Yep. So you see a lot of these comments, or majority, going against the small toppers, man. See, look, right? So now I just wanted to bring this out. This is the book of Jeremiah 49 and verse 15. And it says, NLT, the Lord says to Edom, I will cut you down to size among the nations. You will be despised by all. Let's get the NLT. Let's start at verse 10. This is Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. Hold on. There we go. This is Jeremiah 49 and verse 7. Let's start here. Message to Edom. This message was given concerning Edom. This is what the Lord of Heaven's army says. Is there no more wisdom in Teman? Is there no one left to give wise counsel? And what took place during this event was not wise counsel, because they anticipated that there would be a coup and a hostile takeover. But by taking the leader out, the supreme leader, they galvanize the population. Now you have the leader that is in the intern ruler, or the intern guy, the main guy. He wants to pursue those type of weapons, those nuclear weapons. And the guy, the supreme leader prior, did not want to so-called go after those weapons. Now the population is pissed. Okay, it's pissed. So the equivalent of the guy is like the equivalent of the so-called Pope and all these things. So all this religious figures and fanatics and those that was not fanatics, now they, have turned people into fanatics because of the level that the guy was on. So they pretty much martyred him. And the guy, that's why everything push come to shove, that's why he was in where he was at. But it says, hide in deep caves, you people of Dedan, for when I bring the disaster, see, the disaster on Edom, I will punish you too. Those who harvest grapes always leave a few for the poor. If thieves came in at night, it says they would not take everything, but I will strip bare the land of Edom. And you're seeing the land of Edom is what you call Babylon today, and the land of Palestine. You're gonna have that because that's the rulership where they're ruling at. So all these things now are taking place, and hey, they're doing a thing over there. They're doing a lot of media blackouts when it comes to seeing the severity of what is taking place. It says, those who harvest grapes always leave a few. Says, but I will strip bare the land of Edom, and there would be no place left to hide. Its children, its brothers, and its neighbors will all be destroyed. And Edom itself will be no more, but I will protect the orphans who remain among you, or your widows can depend on me for help. Because the main thing is, when we were getting jacked up, the Lord preserved us, right? So the Lord is going to do a lot of damage and a lot of displacement when you see this taking place in the time that we're coming to. We're seeing it now. Let's go down here. This is the book of Obadiah 1 and verse 2. Let's see if it was pulled up. I think it is. Yep, Obadiah 1 and verse 2. Hold on, let me look this up. This is what I want to look up. The word there for despised is despised, past tense, meaning regard with deep contempt, scorn, intent, dislike. And you read the comments, you've seen that. And then now you can go to video after video, especially now with the Epstein things, all these things that are coming out, that the eyes are on Esau, man. Okay? Just like in the ancient world, they chased after him as they did a thief. So that same energy that was back then in the time of the Edomites getting pushed into caves, pushed into high dwellings, is coming again. You see in a lot of, because the wickedness that's going on, man. That's what it is. Not a pursuing because they're righteous and and not having done. We got pursued, man. We got pursued. When it came to us being pursued and put into slavery, that was our judgment. That was our punishment because of the wickedness that we were doing, and we were doing it in the land under the guise of being the Lord's chosen people. See? So if it happened to us and we were the Lord's anointed, what do you think anybody? It says, "Who you taking my statutes and laws in your mouth?" So if you enter into that contract, okay, and how do we go into that? Because going into the time of the Samaritans, when you did not obey the land, the Lord sent judgments, as in lions. So they had to keep the law, even though they weren't the people, but they were still in the land, and they were still meant to keep the law, because the law trumps the land. That's the law. What does it say? That's the law of the land, regardless of who was there. And now what's the judgment that's coming? War, constant war. Since they've been in that area, it's been a constant battle. It's been a constant uproar. It's been a constant uncertainties. Different. They go from problem to problem because the laws are not being kept. Same way the lions were sent on the Samaritans. Now you have difficulties and all these things that are taking place now. And it says despise. It says including abhor, loathe, detest, and scorned. So all these things now are being looked and being placed upon the Edomites because of all the things that are now coming out in the news, in the financial industries, and all these things. And that's just news, man. You look it up. You look it up and see. All right, that was Obadiah. Let's go to Obadiah 1 and verse 2. It says, "Behold, I will make you small among the nations. You will be deeply despised." And we just read what the word despise means and how it breaks down. Isaiah 34, 5-6. It says, "When my sword shall drunk its fill in the heavens, when it will come down upon Idumea, upon the people I have devoted to destruction." See, but they would tell you that they're the Israelites. No, because the Israelites will not be in the land in the time of the end. How will the Lord be able to put his people back in the land if they're already there? He said that he will gather the Israelites, okay, the seed line, the generation from the four winds of the planet Earth, and bring them back again. So if he has to gather them in the time of the end, and if he's not here now, that means they would not be in the land. They would have to be gathered and taken to that piece of property, which is the Garden of Eden. So that's showing you right there that they're not supposed to, they can't be in the land once that deliverance comes, because how are they going to be taken out of the land and then put back in the land if they're already there? They would have to be gone and then be gathered and then be reestablished. That's why the scriptures say that they're going to bring our sons on and our daughters on their back, and they'll bring them they ain't going to come empty-handed also. Okay, because their tribute is coming back in a big way. Okay, this goes into the tithes, the offerings, all these different things. It says, "When the sword shall be drunk, or my sword has drunk its fill in the heavens, then it will come down upon Idumea, upon the people I have devoted to destruction. The sword of the Lord is bathed in blood. It drips with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys and rams. For the Lord has a sacrifice in Basra, a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, the land of Edom." So like him. Okay. So what do you think is now happening is that setup, because the missiles and all the things that are taking, and they're not slowing down, man. They're not slowing down. They're going full gusto. I just seen a story with, I can't think of the guy's name. I think it was Yahoo. I think one of his family members were killed, man. So they're gonna try to respond back and do something harsh. That's how I see it. And it's like it. So let's go back to the comments. Let's keep going down. I'm not gonna read some of these. See, so that man, there's a lot of eyes on the small toppers, man. Okay, a lot of eyes. Let's see if there's any. I don't want to show too much. I have to go and I'll look through the videos and if there's any, because they're cutting videos. They're cutting because they don't want the world to see what's going on, man. All right, they're cutting it. This is the book of Malachi 1 and verse 2 to 4. I have loved you, saith the Lord, but you have asked, how have you loved me? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? There declares the Lord, yet Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated, and have made his mountains a wasteland. And you see in the judgment that's getting ready to come down is, man, it's going to be something that the world has never seen. All right, that's why it says for the controversy of Zion, and now it's coming out with all the things, atrocities, with the eating, there's all cannibalism, all types of things, man. It's a lot of blood to pay for when it comes to Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, and you got a lot of these small toppers that are behind a lot of that, a lot of those, you know. So all that thing is coming back around in a way that they have to pay for it, and they have to go through the curses that we went through, man. All right, and it says, yet Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, and I made his mountains a wasteland, and left his inheritance to the desert jackals. Though Edom may say, we have been devastated, but we will rebuild the ruins. This is what the Lord of hosts says. They may build, but I will demolish. They will be called the land of wickedness, and the people with whom the Lord has indignation forever. Indignation is righteous anger. Okay? Let's see here. Indignation, it says, it describes feelings or express intent in anger, annoyance, or scorn due to perceived unjust. It said those that have hurt unjustly. It says unfair or unworthy, unworthy treatment. See? So all the things that have taken through and have come with the Negro, Latino, and Native Americans that's been killed and slaughtered on the land, man, hey, it's judgment, man. It's judgment. That's what we're seeing now. We're seeing a clear-cut example of judgment coming down. That's why he set up the Persians in the first place. Blue. Let's see. Blue. There we go. Now the car one. One. Here we go. The word for indignation. I show you this is a cut to that old Edomites can make it. Tripping, man. That word is zawam, zawam, zaum. It says denounce, express indignation, be indignated, have indignation, be indignated, angrily, be defiant, be abhorrent, express indignation in speech, denounce, and curse. People of my curse. And how is that coming by speech, by way of the prophets? The prophets have been warning and been letting out the shout and letting out the prophecies that this was going to take place. Now it's taking place, man. All right, and you don't have no, hey, there ain't no slowing in that, because the financial system is tied in directly with this war, because you have 40%, if not 20 to 40% of oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz. All right, and a lot of those, and you see China's being very quiet, Russia's being quiet, and they're allies, directly in corresponding allies with Iran right now. So why are they so quiet? You heard some condemnation, but hey, moves are being made on a big level, because he says they don't like to take opportunities like this and give them to waste. So things gonna move towards that gold pipe, man. So I just had to bring this out real quick and see this information. Lord willing, I'll go through those videos and see if there's any more that I can share without having it clipped or anything like that. But to try to get some more footage on the damage and the things that's taking through place, man. We in those times. Stay prayed up with that as they call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, B'chakurash. Until next time, I say Shalom and more. Now, never keep faith. Shalom.